So India play the West Indies. Yes, again. We seem to be playing the West Indies all the time. They're probably the new Sri Lanka. 2016, 17, 18, 19, we're playing them all the time. And yet in the white ball game, you look at the West Indies and you think, right, maybe this series will be exciting. I hope so too. India desperately needs an exciting home season. But the numbers aren't in favor of the West Indies. West Indies haven't beaten India for the last 9 bilateral series in ODI cricket. The last 5 ICC ODI tournament matches they've lost. You look at their recent form in T20 cricket. I mean, they lit up the World T20 in 2016. After that, they've won 12, lost 25. More than twice the number of defeats as wins this year in T20 cricket. They are 1-8. The numbers aren't looking good. And yet you look at the West Indies and you think, but they should be better. And I think that's because there are West Indies players and there is a West Indies team, but we won't go too much deeper into that. What about India itself? The first thing that strikes you with this Indian team is, and you never feel that way about someone who's injured, but Shikhar Dhawan's injury has actually pushed India towards picking the most dynamic T20 opener in the country today, and that's KL Rahul. If Rahul bats freely and he's showing signs that he's coming back to batting freely, that he's putting all his recent worries behind him, then he gives you a start. That he allows Rohit Sharma to bat at his pace. He sets the base for Virat, Kohli, Shreyas Iyer to follow. I think that's a very dynamic top 4. It's after that India's decision making has to begin. Do India play Rishabh Pant at 5 and then have the seam bowling all-rounder at 6 and 5 other bowlers? You give yourself 6 options. Or do you do what India did in the last T20 against Bangladesh and said, that's it, 5 bowlers, sorry, your job is to bowl 4 overs, we'll pick the batsman and then you can play Rishabh Pant and Manish Pandey. Because India have to find a way to play Manish Pandey. His form this year in both the Vijay Hazare and the Mushtaq Ali tournaments has been nothing short of fantastic. So India have to find a way to play Manish Pandey. One other way to do that, you play Manish Pandey, you play Rishabh Pant, and then you say we can play 5 bowlers. Or the other option, and that's the benefit of having people like Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar in the side, is you play Jadeja at 6, Sundar at 7, and then you've got about 23, 24 overs in your side. I'm particularly excited by Washington Sundar. You know, you like to see players as they grow, and Washington Sundar is growing. He's now a proper batsman. He can bat anywhere, as you saw in the Mushtaq Ali. But there's one ball that had me sitting up, and he was bowling that to Devdutt Padikkal. I was watching because I'm excited about young talent. I want to watch Padikkal. And Washington Sundar gets the ball to keep coming in like this. Padikkal's played for that ball. The ball hits the deck, turns, hits off stump. Dream wicket for an off spinner, but Washington Sundar is now getting that ball to go do that. And people are going to look at him differently. That's an extra addition to his armory. So I like to see Washington Sundar in T20. Jadeja, the West Indies, they don't play leg spin well. I've often said that when they were growing up, the West Indies were told calypso or leg spin, and that was an easy choice. So you'll have to find a leg spinner. So Chahal plays. I don't know what they'll do with Kuldeep Yadav. But at some point, you've got to get Kuldeep Yadav back in. The other big excitement for me is the return of Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Almost as exciting as for me the return of Ridhiman Saha from injury was, because Bhuvi has been a fantastic white ball cricketer for India. I don't know what his injury was. It just kept coming and going and coming and going. He's been out for too long. So if Bhuvneshwar comes in, Chahar comes in, then maybe Shami. It's interesting they've picked him in T20 as well. I see him playing a bigger role in one-day international cricket. In ODI cricket, 2 players to watch out for. Shikhar Dhawan, hopefully he'll be fit and come back, because India at the moment is having an explosion of opening batsmen. Shubman Gill is waiting, Prithvi Shaw is waiting, Devdutt Padikkal is starting to make a little move, KL Rahul is starting to come back. So Shikhar Dhawan will have to have a good series and then watch for Kedar Jadhav. Because he's batted at number 6 in a good batting side, he's never really had the opportunity to say, come look at me. But Jadhav gives that extra option in the one-day game, especially if you're playing in India, where you can get 4-5 overs out of him. So he's invaluable to have. Or will India then go ahead and say, we'll play 5 bowlers, each bowls 10 overs. But watch out there for Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Kedar Jadhav. But India start favourites. And that's because you look at that West Indies side and you say, right, there's no Chris Gayle, there's no Sunil Narayan, there's no Andre Russell, there's no Carlos Brathwaite. But there's a whole group of very promising young batsmen in there. And we'll have to wait and see if they can transfer that promise from harder wickets into these conditions. Already against Afghanistan, we've seen that that's proving to be a bit of a problem. But you've got people like Brandon King, Evan Lewis. Remember, they're also all auditioning for the IPL. Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Shimron Hetmeyer, Sherfane Rutherford, Nicholas Pooran will be available after the first game. There's two other players I want to talk about in one-day cricket because these are genuinely good players. Share Hope, he'll go back hopefully to the top of the order, he'll anchor them, he's a wonderful player, he'll keep wickets as well, and that gives them the balance. And I hope we see a little more of Roston Chase. He's been a really good test match player for them, but over 50 overs, he gives the bowling option, he's solid in the middle order, so I'm looking forward to Hope and Chase coming back for the one-days. And then Kieron Pollard, I'm very happy they've gone with Kieron Pollard as captain because he adds that little bit of aggro to the West Indies side. He's also in the form of his life. He's averaging 35, strike rate 145, 150 or thereabouts, and he's now playing that senior citizen role. So the presence of Pollard gives me the impression that West Indies will be a little more competitive, but I'm just not sure they have the bowling. They've got people like Fabian Allen, for example, who can come in and play that Russell kind of role and bowl slow left arm. So they've got the side. We'll have to wait and see if they've got the team to go ahead and win it.